Hi everybody, it's Lair. Welcome to our auction, our 1990 Buick Reatta. I thought maybe I would introduce you to the Reatta. It's really an amazing automobile. Back in the day when these first came out, being a dealer my whole life, which as you know I said, I did have a few of these. Just cars, bought them, sold them on the lot, that kind of thing. But until we bought this car, I never actually knew how special they were. They're really a special car. So where it came from, Buick at this time in late 80s, they started in 88. Buick at this time was kind of like, they kind of like felt snubbed. Nobody really paid a lot of attention to them. Yeah, they were just a notch below Cadillac in the whole hierarchy of GM, but so they wanted to do something special. The execs wanted to do something special. And they came up with this idea of a low production, a special car that could showcase everything that they could do. A halo car, if you will. Low production, a lot of neat stuff, that kind of thing. And you know, they thought to themselves, geez, what if we could build a car that was along the lines of a Mercedes SL, you know, the king of kings at the time, the Jaguar XJS, that car, something like that. Now, probably knowing that they would never sell the way those cars did, but they just wanted to show they could do it. So they came up with this idea, and they wanted to design for a two-seater sporty car, an upscale sporty car. Not a sports car, not a Corvette, but a sporty car, SL XJS, like I said. So they initially thought they were going to go out to Pininfarina for a design. They did not end up doing that because the Buick designers said, you know what, we want to design this car. So they had a competition in-house. And a fellow by the name, I think his name was Dave McIntosh, if I remember correctly, he was the one who won the competition. And his was the initial design that they went with. And now his was, it was a kind of a stubby, snub nose kind of thing. I'll move this here. But the Buick execs were at an auto show, or no, they're at the Proving Grounds. They're at the Proving Grounds, and there was a Porsche 944 there. And the execs liked the fact that it had a sharp line here on the fender, so they wanted that incorporated into the Reatta, and they said to Dave and his crew, we want that line. The other thing, in the same visit to the Proving Ground, were the taillights. They noticed that a Porsche 911 that was at the Proving Grounds had a taillight that went across the entire back of the car. And they said, we want that. We want that on our car. So they designed a tail lamp that went across the entire back of the car. And when this was built, when the Reatta was built, at that time it was the longest continuous tail light in automotive history. Something like, I don't know, 14 or 16 lights across the back there. So that's the thing. So now, how do you build it? How do you build the car? They're hand-built. They are hand-built. Not on an assembly line where parts are just thrown on. You know, a guy has 30 seconds to get his part put on. Hand-built. As long as it took, they want it perfect. So they took a plant in Lansing, one of the plants they had. They made it the Reatta Craft Center. That's where they were built. The cars were built on kind of like motorized, robot-driven platforms that went from section to section, you know, body, you know, engine, finishing, that kind of stuff. And that's how they were built. Very, very unique. Like I said, as long as it took to build that car, that's what it would do. I talked about the low production. In 1990, there was only about 2,000 convertibles made in 1990. So very low production. 1991 is when they stopped making the Reatta. There were only a few hundred. So there was not much more than just over 2,000 of these cars that were built. So they, when the cars were built and put together, then they knew that they had something pretty special. So, and they wanted to use something that had a little bit of pep to it, that would not be, again, like I said, they didn't want a sports car, but they wanted a sporty car. So what they did is they took the 3.8 liter that they had and they tweaked it a little bit. 3.8 liter, the TPI, 2-port injection. But what they did, what the designers did, they installed a counter-rotating balance shaft so it would be as smooth as possible. And it is. It's a smooth ride. I think you saw in the one other video that you'll see coming up that the engine doesn't even move when it runs. So, you know, transverse mount, front wheel drive, you know, pistons like this, 4-speed automatic transmission, and it puts out, I think in 90, it got close to 170 horsepower, 165 when it first came out. Respectable at the time. I think top speed about 125. 0 to 60 was right around 9 seconds. Differential ratio of 3.33, I believe, gave it a 0 to 30 miles per hour of maybe somewhere 3 seconds, 3-ish, 4 seconds, something like that. So final drive was 297, I think, on that. So peppy enough. It's sporty enough. It's got great pickup. In the drive video, watch the drive video, and you'll see that. So, but like I said, as you come around, here's that sharp line that I talked about on the fenders, and the same thing back here that they wanted. The interior, if you come around here, Joe, the interior is absolutely beautiful. The leather, nice soft leather, all of the gauges, electronic and everything. There's more features than you can shake a stick at. This happens to have the optional 16-way power seat over here. Only a couple options that were available on these cars, as you can see. And then the hard tonneau, the soft top is under there. And this is the look that really pops. This hard tonneau, and so they really came up with one heck of a car here. And as I got to know this car, looking at all the different things, and like I said, I do have a little bit of an automotive background. This is an amazingly well-built car. I'm totally blown away at how well these cars were produced. Our car, this individual car here, our car, one family owned. It was titled a couple of times from when it was leased. It was leased new originally, so hence they bought the lease out, and that's that. But garage kept since new, from what I'm to understand, and definitely garage kept when we owned it here. But you can see, if you look, you get down in here, all of the leather is beautiful. The carpeting is beautiful. The paint, I didn't see any signs of any repairs on the outside of the car. You look, I hope you can get a look in the video of how nice the paint is, how flat it is. And up here, if you look, you know, a lot of times on your convertibles, where up in here you'll have some ugliness, some rust. There's none of that. When you come up on the hood, save for just a couple chips, which I pointed out in the gallery, you see how nice that paint is. I think it's 47,000 miles on the car. I think you would be very hard pressed to find a car that's in nicer condition than this car. This car is really, really beautiful. Even things like under the hood here, where you would normally see, like across here, the top of the radiator, no rust. How about up in here on the where the struts come up through the strut tower? Look at the nuts, and they're not refinished. I didn't refinish those. That's how they were. You know, all of the aluminum and stuff like that. So, you know, kind of like all your VIN stickers are in place. I think you saw that in the gallery. So I really think this is a car that, would impress anybody. And if it's a car you wanted to buy just to have fun with, or if you wanted to get into showing the car, I actually had a AACA judge look at the car, go over the car, and in his opinion, he feels this car would breeze through AACA judging. It would get the junior, it would get the senior, and his words to me, Larry, who knows, maybe an Infinity Award. So I just want to let you know that this is how nice this car is. So I appreciate. Oh, you know what I would like to show you, and every owner that bought a new one would get this leather bound owner's packet. With all this little good stuff, the Reatta notepad, and hand signed by each department head at the Reatta Craft Center in Lansing, Michigan. And this one still retains all of it. This is a little flashlight, a pen, tire gauge, and the Reatta owner's manual right there. So I think that covers it. If you have any questions on the auction, hit me up on the contact seller. I know there's a lot of pictures. I know there's a lot of videos. It's kind of what I do. I have issues. I won't deny it. But anyone who's seriously interested, I think they will appreciate the effort that I put in and the volume and everything. So thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye now.